Okay, what's up everyone? Welcome to tonight's stream on the Final Fantasy X Hardcore Nuzlocke. If you join us in the chat, great to have you with us as always. And if you join us on the VOD, appreciate you checking back in. Let me know your thoughts on the challenge and the episode tonight. We're just checking in on the audio. Wonderful. Everything coming in clutch. So, what have we got lined up for today's adventure? Well, we're starting from Gagazet. What we actually did do in the previous attempt is remember our first steal from Gagazet, which was 2 fire gems in this attempt. So, what I've also realised is we don't actually now need to venture up Gagazet because we've got adequate enough items in order to make a Chaos Grenade for the strategy we're going to use to capture the Chimera Brain. And in case you weren't, in case you didn't join us on the previous stream, the strategy we're going for now is to use both a Chaos Grenade and Kimahri's Mighty Guard. So shout out to LG, Loot Goblin. If you're not a fan of Loot or you're not subscribed to Loot Goblin, I suggest you do so. Does some fantastic FF content. But what that means is basically that we basically get to tank any and all of the attacks from the Chimera Brains because we're protected against all of the elementals. And we are also protected under darkness from the physical attacks as well, because if you know the Chimera Brain AI, if you don't, then it does start with a random attack, which is a pain in the arse because we can't properly plan. So having access to Mighty Guard gives us also access to Null All, which is fantastic. Right, I'm just checking we've got everyone. Just checking we've got everyone lined up correctly. And we've got that initiative and first strike. We've still, because we're going from the autosave, we're not having to start things again. And we've got Kimahri and Riku still in SOS as well. Speak of the devil, and he appears. LG, my man, what's happening? Evening, how's things? Great to see you on, pal. Heck yeah, no more apprenticeship stuff. Absolutely. So if you've been following on the streams, folks, you know I've been recently doing an apprenticeship through work, and all of the work, I believe, has now come to an end for that, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, now it's all about getting my back end into gear for for the channel. I've got loads of content to edit and to sort out, and I got loads of content to pump out in the next few weeks. So yeah, bear with me as I adjust to life as a YouTuber once again. But yeah, great to be back on, pal. Now we can end this What's Up, Mr. Geek. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping today we finally capture the Chimera, and obviously we've got to go through the whole ordeal of capturing the Malboro again. But that won't be an issue. What I might do is actually customise Kimahri's one as well to do piercing. I think the capture weapons are actually at the bottom here. Yeah, but there we go. Taming Sword. Beast of the Beastmaster. Iron Grip. Taming Spear. There we go. We've got plenty of level 2s to play with. So yeah, the objective is today is to capture the Malboro and to also capture the Chimera Brain. And I do believe I still need to capture the Skull. So that's also on the agenda as well. Then once we've done that, we can go to Macalania to capture those fiends. Oh, first come the Malboro. Excellent. And we get a preemptive as well, so that's a great start. So the objective here is actually, I'm not going to start with Riku. I'm going to swap the boys in, and I guess this allows me to defend. Well, actually, in fact, because we've got a preemptive, we don't even have to waste Riku's Overdrive here. We can just, although actually what I do want is Kimahri with haste and protect. So let's just bring him in. We will use what's her name's Overdrive, Riku's Overdrive here. So we do need to swap. So what we'll do is we'll use this turn to swap to the capture weapon. Wakka can, in fact, let's bring someone in like. In fact, it doesn't matter. Let's bring in. Let's just escape with Wakka. Now we'll use Riku's Overdrive on a Mighty G, because this will give Kimahri haste, and I'll tell you why. We can use Lancet here. That's good, we get 2 turns. So I'm actually going to swap in Tidus and hopefully escape with Tidus. That's fantastic. Right, now all we've got to do is either swap weapons or just press triangle. So we're going to be here for quite a while now, folks. So apologies, but this is the strategy for capturing the Malboro. We literally just press defend until all of its HP until it's down to until it's down to around about 100. So ideally what we need is to get Kimahri in, use Lancet, get him back out, then bring Auron in, and I think by swapping in Kimahri we may be able to do that. So let's not mess about, we'll just keep pressing defend. Because Riku's got evade and counter, and because the counter attack does not increase the Malboro's bad breath counter, we just keep pressing defend, and we're in a position where Riku can just basically chill. So let's just swap into something so this goes a bit quicker. Really doesn't matter. Sleep Ward, that'll do. As long as we're in evade and counter, he cannot hit us at all, and he won't be using bad breath. So yes, we are doing 60 damage roughly each counter attack. And I'm just pressing defend. We're having some restarts, LG. Came back just in time for the Yaya's mat of FF10. This is the Yaya's mat, yeah. This is the this is one of the AKA super bosses of the challenge, I suppose. You know what? I doubt we're ever going to be able to do this versus the Malboro, the Great Malboro. I don't think we'll be able to capture anything in the Omega Ruins. And I've even got a thought to actually exclude the Omega Ruins from the challenge. So far I'm thinking of excluding it because, and I'll tell you why, because it's actually really easy to get ourselves a no encounters weapon. Even if we don't get access to Geos Gano, it's really easy for us to get a no encounters weapon, and all we can do is just rock up to the Omega Ruins, equip the no encounters, get all of the chests, go and fight Ultima Weapon, steal, because it would be the first steal in the Omega Ruins, and that gives us access to Daughter Tomorrows, which are absolutely busted. So we're in a position, right, where the Omega Ruins is actually pretty easy to manipulate. So I'm on the fence. Obviously, we've got to do a bit of grinding in the Cavern of the Stolen Faith for it. Or we could capture a ghost in the Cavern of the Stolen Faith and then just farm it. It's as easy as that. Until we get no encounters. That's the strategy that they use for FFX speedruns these days as well. But they know how to like manipulate RNG and manipulate drops and stuff like that from the ghost, and they get it pretty quickly. Whereas me, I'm just going to have to either do it again and again or find some sort of repeatable strategy to easily defeat it. Because I think again and again I'm going to need to use probably one of Riku's overdrives or eject with Auron. Eject might not be a bad shout. So yeah, we've already been doing this like for... Man, speedrunners on this game are absolutely ridiculous at manipulating RNG. And it goes to show like the level that like even people like Coryphean know about this game. It's like they got such a good understanding of the background mechanics and how everything works. It's mad. Okay, got to play it safe, bringing Yuna in. But yeah, this is just Triangle City or Y City for a while until we can get it down to, you know, we're looking at probably 100 health. They legit enter a tutorial battle just for... You mean just to manipulate the RNG? Crazy, man, that is. Absolutely crazy. I wouldn't mind doing a speed run, to be fair. Maybe that's the 200... maybe that's the 200 sub special. Is an NSG speed run. I don't know. Shit, I nearly attacked then. Although, if I do attack, I think I've actually got 6 attacks in the kitty, because when Malboro receives HP damage, its bad breath counter increases by 1, and once it gets to 7 counters, that's when it uses bad breath. So we've got a fair bit of a few attacks in the kitty. That, to be fair, LG, that is one of the troubles, is the cutscene remover. I think it needs a patch, I do, because right now it's so buggy, especially with when characters go in and out of the party during cutscenes. Like, we had a lot of trouble, didn't we, on the previous stream with that Kimahri scene, Kimahri going in and out. It's not reliable enough, I suppose, to use it. But they're tool assisted speed runs. You still get speed runs now. I think the world record at the moment is something like 9:38 or 10:18 or something like that, and that's without a cutscene remover. But if I recall, Dansgo8 did that review video on that one tool assisted speedrun with cutscene removers and stuff, where the guy beats FFX under 3 hours. I mean, I think it took us 6 hours to get to the Mihen High Road in this challenge. So yeah, that tool assisted speedrun just blew my mind. Beating this game under 3 hours when you've got a reliable cutscene remover. What's the cutscene remover like with Untitled Project X? Because I'm yet to install that again. The last time I installed it, I had some crazy error messages popping up, and Tidus seemed to have this weird effect whenever you walked or run, so I just uninstalled it. I saw one for Ratchet and Clank that they have to manipulate pretty much every frame to make it perfect. That's crazy, man. There are also, like, I think the first speedrun I ever watched was obviously on Pokemon, but I think it was Shenanigans. Shout out to Shenanigan as well. Shenanigans, Catch 'em All, and the other one was beating Pokemon Red in like 0.000 seconds or something. Absolutely bonkers, some of the speedruns out there. Ratchet & Clank basically speeds up to 8 times speed, including cutscenes. Jeez, man. Yeah, the fact that the gamers now have like deep dived into the code. Like, what got me into speedrunning is Pokemon challenges. Like games done quick, summer games done quick, those sorts of videos. Some of the crazy the crazy challenge runs people do with speedruns is insane. Like, I was watching a video the other day about the latest world record on Pokemon Red, which is something crazy like 1 hour 44 minutes, and there's talk that will never be beaten, because the one guy used this one strategy halfway through that no one ever seems to risk, but he risked it, and now he's got the world record. It's just crazy what they can come up with. Check out Games Done Quick run of Bloodborne from Jesus Here's Toast. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, Lord Harris, who checks out the channel sometimes, he was telling me when we caught up last about things like Elden Ring challenges and Elden Ring speedruns and stuff where they just parry and block everything, and it just makes the game look so easy. It just makes it's crazy. Right, let's have a quick check on our HP. How are we getting on? 20,000. That's good. So we've already broken the 20,000 barrier, and it's already been 15 minutes. Okay. So we've done 7,000 damage in 15 minutes. Bingo runs are cool. Yeah. Like, you've got a preset kind of like feature list you need to meet, and then you need to be able to either manipulate the game or just play the game as is, just to find those specific features. That'd be cool to do something like that on here. Like, I don't know, the first character to, I don't know, you know, find a proof armor, or first, you know, get a character to max health, or, you know, I think that'd be really cool. Where they compete between streamers to complete a bingo board of challenges. Oh, so it's challenger versus challenger. I'll bet that's interesting as well. Like, I don't even know how, to be fair, how you'd go about setting that sort of stuff up. Like, multiple people on one stream. Yeah, that'd be cool. First person to get a proof, or 3 SOS armors. That sort of thing, though, you would 100%, to have an advantage, you would need to know how to manipulate RNG. So imagine like me going up against someone who can, you know, tool assist speed run this game. I'd be there for 6 hours grinding the water flan, and they'd be doing some mad RNG manip strat just to get the waterproof drop on the first battle. It'd be crazy, that would, to see them do that sort of stuff. It does often make me think, like, what is possible with this game? Like, how quick could you actually do it? Right. Yeah, I do wonder how you'd set that sort of thing up. Like, would you need Would you need everyone on, the, say, like, going through, like, StreamYard or something? And playing everything through the cloud? Or a randomizer bingo card, that'd be good. With some fixed RNG, yeah, you'd probably need fixed RNG for that sort of thing. So yeah, so if you are tuning in the chat, great to have you with us. I'm looking to capture the Malboro in the Nuzlocke, and we're getting close to about halfway there. I'd say we're closer to probably a third of the way there so far, but because Riku has evade encounter, we can literally just evade the Malboro's attacks until it's low enough for us to capture. Bingo Brawlers. These guys have got whole seasons of Bingo Brawlers for Elden Ring. Elden Ring, man, what a crazy game. Crazy long, elaborate game. But yeah, I'd love to try and organise something like that, man. So we're on 17,500. Wonderful. Right, let's just keep defending. I wonder how. I think the biggest obstacle for me to do that would be how would we go about getting multiple streamers like on the same stream? Like how would I cast them and record it? Would we need to have some sort of central cloud location? Fun fact, I platinumed Elden Ring before FFX. Ah, listen man, some of the trophies for FFX are proper hard to get. Like, and time consuming as well. Maxing out the sphere grid for everyone, including luck. Oof. That takes time, that does, and dedication. Oh, Twitch has the collaborative streamer thing. Right, so you just do it through the Twitch platform. That's cool. Okay. Maybe we could get something organised, LG, because that'd be cool. You know, ask like Blitzace and Coryphean, and you never know who would join, you know. Like, we'd get some random special guests, maybe Blitzball Mania or Push Him a Look to Tentacles or Dansgo 8 or something like that. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, back in the PS2 days when there were no trophies to be had or to be won. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Maxing out Anima's strength stat by hand in the monster arena. Those were the days. Yeah, them were the days. 255 strength, or was it 180 strength actually for Anima in the monster arena? Remium Temple Chocobo 5 chests you don't want to do again. Yeah, that is horrible, to be honest. I actually find it easier to get 4 chests than anything. But 5 chests is like, there's a certain pattern, and you've got to get luck from the other Chocobo as well. And I think most of the attempts I've had where I've claimed the 5 chests, you just nip in front of the Chocobo right at the death, and you end up getting it. So, and I thought, to be honest, I know you've just said there with no speed up option, but I find the Chocobo racing easier with no speed up. If I recall, the 5 chests, you grab the first 2, you skip number 3, your usual number 3, because I think you have to backtrack. So I think you just go straight for your... Yeah, I think you skip... You definitely skip one of them, and you have to get another one. But if you get the last one, it takes you right to the finish line, basically. You see, I have, hand on heart, I have never legitimately been ever able to do the 200 lightning bolts. I've never had the patience to do the butterfly hunting, and I don't think I've ever got less than 0 seconds on the Chocobo run. Although, Although, to be fair, on the Steam version, I don't think I've ever attempted it, so... And it was one of the reasons I excluded all of those challenges from this Hardcore Nuzlocke, so I didn't have to do it. Yeah, I suppose the butterfly catching could be easier. I don't think I've ever had the patience to do it, and I suppose it's also because outside of an O-sphere grid, outside of an O-sphere grid, is Kimahri really that useful? He tends not to be that useful in a normal playthrough. You know, he's not a real differentiator, because the overdrives you really don't need late game, and Wakka's Celestial Weapon does the same thing, but he gets access to attack reels. I suppose it is repeatable though, and yeah, you can just use the same route, I think, from what I understand. Well, you've seen my reaction time to things like element reels and attack reels. I'm sound on. I can nail that every single time. But you've seen my coordination when it comes to element reels is absolutely terrible. I used Kimahri on my first turn to replace Tidus because I did not know about the crest in Zanarkand. Oh, I got you. So you couldn't find it. Is that what you mean? So you just ended up using Kimahri instead. Oh, yeah, that's... To be fair, yeah, I will go back and reference there. I'm very lucky, though, or I specifically removed the need for me to do those 3 challenges in the Hardcore Nuzlocke. Partially because I couldn't be I knew I'd be having to spend a lot of time doing other stuff, so rather than spending, you know, attempt after attempt doing them bloody challenges, I've just excluded them. It is a bit soul destroying though. You get to like 198 and you fuck up and you miss, and it just goes, and you have to go all the way back to the start. That would just be, yeah. That's like getting past Evray and losing on fucking Highbridge. Getting past Evray Altana in this and then losing on Highbridge. It's just soul destroying. Oh yeah, Dark Hitman. I swear to God, that was one of the most oh my FG moments in my life. That, and me and my brother were playing Final Fantasy X way back in the day, and I thought, oh, we can venture back to Besaid here, and I ventured back, and then I was just hit with this dark Veil 4 in my face. And it was just one of the greatest moments of playing this game, knowing that you've basically got another 10 odd super bosses to go and fight and try and defeat. It was just such an incredible... And then I did the same going back to the Zanarkand Dome, and when you get Dark Bahamut just crash into you, I just think, what an unbelievable game. Right, we're finally at halfway, and this has taken, Jesus, nearly half an hour. And this is without Riku having haste. So we'll just... This is on ×4 speed as well. Yes, countering super bosses is, I think, what sets this game apart from so many more. It's like there's so much to do. Even this game versus other Final Fantasies, there's just so much to do, I guess, post-game. You know, you got the monster arena in itself, but the Dark Aeons and Penance were just a different kettle for me. They just put this above any other Final Fantasy. And even things like, right, how they've weaved in the crests and the sigils into like the story and the gameplay and the lore and stuff is just so brilliant. Oh yeah, imagine just having this game with just the Monster Arena, no Dark Aeons, and I even think, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't there Omega just at 100,000? What an absolute joke. No Penance, no Dark Aeons, and Omega, who basically goes down to a standard Aeon. Like, you could solo that easily. 100,000. You could probably even, with the right setup, and like max stats and stuff, you know, you could pretty much, in fact, you could kill it in one turn, in your first turn. So, yeah, I do pity them. But I always remember reading about the Dark Aeons in some sort of magazine, and I just thought, no, that surely can't be right. Yeah, it's a 1-trio attack reels. It's basically a Cactar King. So, and I can't understand something like, in fact, the Cactar King had more health than Omega Weapon. I'm sure it was like one hit at max damage with a Celestial Weapon. Yeah, it's terrible. I am pleased though that they've sorted things out. Yeah, exactly. Was there Ultima Weapon though still at 70,000? I do think that's a bit of a joke, if I'm honest. I think Ultima Weapon should be buffed. Like 70,000. I know it's kind of like Baby Omega, but that should be buffed to, like, I would probably say even 250,000. Because there aren't that many bosses at that sort of next bracket. Yeah, you've got Yunalesca and BFA, but there's nothing really between there and, well, I suppose there's the Monster Arena ones. But yeah, I do think Ultima Weapon is a bit weak, and because it's susceptible to so many things. I mean, I did that challenge on the channel a few months back, or was it last year? The Escape. You can theoretically beat Ultima Weapon if you were to have been sent there instead of the Via Purifico. Like, all of the items that you either collect in there or collect beforehand, you could take on Ultima Weapon and easily defeat it. So, yeah, I do think it is too weak. Right, we're over halfway, and halfway to go. We need to make sure that we get good RNG at the end of this fight. I'm really hoping Kimari can get his Overdrive here. His Bad Breath Overdrive. If not, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I actually do think Bad Breath at some point will come in handy. The ability to basically do a mini Chaos Grenade free of charge is a great backup strategy to consider going forward. Jesus, we're not even at 10,000. Right, let's just keep going. 3 more hours to go. Yeah, I think, I reckon by, what's 20 minutes from now? 25 minutes. I reckon by 7:15 we'll be done. It needs must, though. The one thing I have got to consider is the Flux strategy, because I have put in an optional save state before Flux, because I've got a feeling, I don't think Flux is going to be that difficult. I just think it's going to be the initial couple of turns with initial couple of turns with Lance of Atrophy and Full Life, because there's a strategy I've got in mind to set our characters up. But the trouble is, if we do all of this capturing and we don't have and we do use the Save Sphere, we lose Riku and Kimahri in SOS. Now that's not so bad for both of them, but it means Riku's not in SOS haste for the Flux fight, and it also means we can't go back down Gagazet until we've defeated Flux, because our ticket to get back down there is Kimahri in SOS, so it's going to be very difficult for us. So it's a case of, do we save at that save point? And I think we should, and just go for it and get Riku into SOS somehow. Or do we figure out another strategy? And I think we just go for it with Riku out of SOS. Sorry, Riku out of SOS haste. I think you should have captured before Defender X. Yeah, probably should have, but at the time, LG, we didn't know the strategies. And if I did start capturing and I fucked up, I would have had to have done Natus, Altana, and Everate all over again. But there is a save state before Flux on the hill of Gagazet. Because I do think that those initial turns are basically... I don't know the turn order right now. I know if we capture enough, if we capture the fiends in the Thunder Plains and we get ourselves the Chocobo wings, it's 100% doable, I think. But it's just that opening turn. I don't know what the turn order will look like if our characters are under haste, as to whether or not we'll be able to break up the the Lance of Atrophy full life combo. Let me have a look. It should be on the list. Unless I've took the wrong one off. Ah, I've fucking changed it. That's why. I think that's an old list. Let's have a look. These save states aren't on a lot of them. I think I'm looking too far in the past. Let me just have a look. Yeah, before it used to be, there is one, so it's attempt number 15-1. Attempt 15, number 1. The Airship, Macalania Woods Save Sphere after Natus. These are the ones. And then Gagazet Save Sphere. So actually I think I've got this one wrong, this Save Sphere wrong. So if I go back, if I kind of fuck up now before Flux, really I should be going back to Macalania. And I think these are the fair ones. I don't know why. I think I had a list before, and then I thought, I'm going to get to Flux and fuck up. Or I'm going to get to Flux and I'm going to have really bad RNG. So, because you're right, LG, to your point, these ones, if we use the Macalania Woods Save Sphere, we basically are able to capture before we do Defender X. However, I don't think it matters then if we have this split of save states. So I'll update them with that list. You got one before Specky? Yes. So I've got one before Flux. Then I've got one before Spectral Keeper. Then I've got one after Yunalesca. Only because Spectral Keeper is literally, I think, the hardest boss in this entire challenge. And I don't think Yunalesca is going to be that difficult. I think one of the Elemental Aeons will be able to solo that fight. I've got this impression they will be. And then I've got to do a shitload of capturing after defeating Yunalesca before the Sin fights. Because it might be that we use an Aeon for the arms and the head, and then you have to use a combination of characters and Aeons to defeat Sin. We'll see though. So yeah, I think this list is the best list that I've got there now. The reason, though, I went on and on about the Defender X is because in order to get the Chocobo to appear at both the Macalania entrance and the Gorge entrance, I think you've got to defeat the brothers. So I dashed straight into the Calmlands, straight up to Defender X, defeat Defender X, defeat what's her name, the Ronso brothers. And then, but now, I think, because we know all the strategies, that's not an issue. So, 8-6, we're nearly there. So yeah, I think the Defender X save state must have been an old list or an old version that I was using. From one of the older because I just copy and paste the details, you see, from previous streams, and I must have just been using an old one or not using the right one. But if you think about it, it makes sense to have a save state after Natus, because it's not just Natus, it's Highbridge, it's Altana, it's Via Purifico marked number 2, Via Purifico 1, and Evray, and on the airship. So that's like the biggest gauntlet of this entire challenge, I think, at the moment. But now, if it was up to me, you're right, I would capture, then do Defender X. I don't think it matters, if I'm honest, but I'd probably capture before Defender X. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I would still do Defender X first. But if you fuck up against Defender X, you've got to go all the way through the Calmlands again, rather than start at the Gorge. Because I think that's what we did initially, which was... You're right, we did have the one before Defender X, but I think that's wrong. I think this gauntlet, as we're calling it, should start at the start of the Calmlands. Not to make it easier, but like imagine going all through the Via Purifico, doing Seymour Natus, then you come to the Calmlands and you mess up somehow trying to get to the Gorge. It's hard. That'd be heartbreaking. It's bad enough getting to Altana, having done all of that effort, for the RNG to fuck up. Right, this is where I get a bit nervous. Look, right, we're kind of trialing this out, so I think what we've done before is okay. But let's say we mess up. Going forward, I think the save state should be at Macalania. Unless you think otherwise, LG. I mean, it'd be good to get your take on the save states. I do think, though, in order to kind of progress in the challenge, it's still worth using them. Because if not, we're on attempt number 24, and, you know, we could be on attempt 50 now and still not got through Macalania Woods. We could still be at that point if we were starting again. But if I was to start again, I'd probably start from... I'd probably start all the way from the Mihen High Road, because we had that mad attempt number 10. Top Secret, what's happening? How's it going? Great to see you in the chat again, pal. All hail Lord Harris. I mean, I don't think Defender X is an issue now, and I don't think capturing is an issue now, but I thought it was an issue at the time. What's happening, Top Secret? Good to see you, man. Been a while since you've been grinding some great games. I mean, are we talking Elden Ring, or are we talking some other stuff? I know you've been doing a lot of grinding on Elden Ring recently over on Twitch. Drop your Twitch in the chat if you want as well. For anyone looking to get some, looking to be entertained by a top Elden Ring player, feel free to check out Top Secret's Twitch channel. And if you're not subscribed to LG as well, Luke Goblin, one of the best Final Fantasy creators on YouTube as well. Yeah, great to see you in the chat, pal. No worries about missing a few. I know you're busy. I know you got stuff going on, so appreciate you checking in today. So far, we've our first encounter has been against the Malboro, and we're just looking to capture it. And I am getting very nervous because it's coming up to the business end of this. So I just want to see, right, so that's possible. So let's bring the nurse in. Right, we're still at 5-8, so that's fine. So Riku, with a double turn, we can bring Kimahri in, use Lancet, and then we can take Kimahri out as well. And then bring Auron in. And if I'm correct, I think Auron can do about 150 against this. Could be wrong. Could probably do more. So Top Secret in the chat saying, sorry Mr. Few, been grinding some games myself. So I've finished RL1 playthrough. I've done a Shadow of War run, and I've completed Hollow Knight, but didn't record it. Oh, Jesus. And now doing Expedition 33. Man, that game looks busted. Who am I following at the moment on the shorts? Squebby Webbs or something like that. I'm sure he's Australian, and he's such a fantastic commentator on it. He's been doing some great short content. Yeah, I've heard it's such a great turn-based game, and like the evolution of Final Fantasy games. I would love it if they did Final Fantasy 17 in the same way they did Expedition 33. Damn, man, so you're pretty much there or thereabouts at the end of the game. Is there any kind of post-game with Expedition 33? Or is it just all kind of main game and then you can do all sorts of side quests before the final boss? Right, 5-2-30. Still got a bit to go. Yeah, I'm really hoping, and I think with the absolute gargantuan success of Expedition 33, and because of the lack of financial success from Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think they'll do a combination of both worlds. I've got a feeling they'll give us some sort of functionality that allows us to pick whether we do turn-based or whether we do action RPG, because that would be sick. Yeah, some massive bosses to do before the final one. Well, good luck with them, Top Secret. And remember to pray to Lord Harris for some good luck. You know what? I think, though, LG, it's got to be a combination of good characters, good story, good gameplay, i.e. turn-based, and, you know, good graphics as well. And probably not being exclusive to PS5. I think that's hurting a lot of games recently, like Final Fantasy VII. The exclusivity. I'm just going through the map and trying to do everything. And LG saying in the chat they've got enough proof turn-based games are still profitable. Absolutely. I mean, what's it sold? Like a few million copies? 4527. Got you. So... yeah, it's still very good, man, if they can do it right, this this turn-based stuff. Like, I don't think we've had anything that surpassed Final Fantasy X in the FF genre. Wasn't FF Remake and Rebirth also PS5 exclusives? Because if so, they've lost out money there as well. Big style. Right, I'm going to check at 10 past. In fact, no, we'll check now and then we'll check at 10 past. Right, 3895, so we're getting there. And if I recall, Auron actually has haste, I believe. No, he doesn't. It's Kamari that has haste. Kamari and Waka had haste. You see, they're still Square Enix are still pumping out turn-based games, so they know what they're doing. I think they just need to bring all of the different pieces together, like Final Fantasy 16 graphics and FMVs, maybe some of the customization and battle mechanics from FF Remake and 7 and Rebirth, because they're pretty good, and they I suppose they've got to appeal to somewhat of the action RPG audience, but also introduce some form of turn-based and a great story like Exposition 33 or Final Fantasy X. I think they've just got to kind of piece everything together, and I hope it's not an experimental game. Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was turn-based, yeah. Yeah, I agree, LG. They can do it, but whether they are going to do it or want to do it is different. I just think they get hung up on the fact that it needs to be action-orientated. It needs to be Devil May Cry. But that's just stemming up too far away from the roots in my eyes. Like, I'm not saying FF games must be turn-based, but I think it needs to have the option at least to be turn-based. Yeah, I think they're spending too much effort appeasing a new audience as opposed to appeasing their current audience, who made those games big in the first place. Exposition does sit, from what I've seen played, and I'll be checking out your content on it, Top Secret, if you are going to be sharing that on your YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll be checking that out, but it really does feel like a great blend. Lots of parries and blocks and stuff like that, you know, you've got that sort of element, but then you've got the turn-based. It really does kind of take me back to the roots of it all. It reminds me of the golden era of Final Fantasy. Yeah, they're trying to be like basically every Soulsborne game, I feel. Just action, 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 button mash. Like whenever I watch Final Fantasy Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, it's just button mashing. You can literally get through it with attack only, button mash. 2644. Right, got you. What's the battle system in FF14 like? That's one. Right, we're getting to the business end here. And I've got to concentrate for a minute. So I'm going to kind of dip out the chat for a sec. So when we get to 12, I'm going to check. I'm going to check after every minute or so now. Right, let's check now. 2166. Okay. Right, let's see if we can get Kamari his overdrive. So, this should be okay, surely. Yeah. Trouble is now, Kamari's out of... He's out of SOS. I'm wondering actually if with defend he can survive an attack. So let me just check. Oh, he's got protect. He should be okay. Yeah, perfect. Right, let's just check with nurse. 1727, right. So, let me just do some calcs. 1727 minus 59, so we're on 1668. Divided by 60 is 28 turns. Or 28 counterattacks. So that's 1. That's 2. I did wonder if Kamari would set the bad breath off, but I don't think he did. Oh, I fucking lost count now. Right, let's just bring the nurse back in. 13, 14. Right, let's do some more maths. Uh, 22, 23 turns. Got yeah, 23 attacks, should we say. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. Need to be careful because of crits as well. 5. 8. 725. Right, apparently 12 more hits at least. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So, right, can we bring in Auron now? No, but we're safe if we do get a crit. Like that. Let's just bring in nurse. Fucking marvellous. Check Auron's got the Beastmaster. Yes, he has. Absolutely wonderful, folks. Let's go. Malboro captured in the Nuzlocke. And we even got an alert armlet. Look at that. And we got Kimahri's Overdrive. And we got him back into SOS. That could not have got any better. So we've got everything for Kimahri now that I intend for him to get, which is perfect. So let's just give him back that. Oh yeah, spot on LG as well. Exactly on the 1 hour mark. Jesus Christ, that took a long time. Right, we'll stick around here because we need to get that, though, you know what, I've just thought, you know, what we probably should have done is got the Chimera first. Oh well. Let's give her SOS Haste. He's good with that. Right, so now what we need is, we need a Chimera Brain encounter with a preemptive. Can we get that in a reasonable time? No, we can't. The right encounter, just the wrong setup. So, let's just check, right, what we're working with here, because you see, the problem is, right, if I was to mix a Chaos Grenade, I actually am not convinced that Riku does get another turn. I suppose it really doesn't matter, so what we have to do is bring in Kimahri to do Stone Breath. And the only problem is now, Kimahri's at 80%, so we must go and get him another Overdrive. And that means messing about. So what that means is we've got to put Kimahri in Victor, and get him, not there, get him in place of Waka. We'll leave Riku in Daredevil, just in case we get an encounter by the entrance. And we've also got to change his weapon to that one. I do believe the way we go about fixing this issue, having to go back to Macalania all the time to pump up Kimahri's Overdrive, is to actually get him an SOS armlet. SOS Haste armlet. Because he could theoretically do a similar thing to how Riku goes about getting her Overdrive back, which is we enter a battle, we use SOS Haste, the power of SOS Haste to skip, to get, you know, to buy some turns. And then the only trouble is, though, if we encounter a Chimera battle and Kimahri is using Daredevil to get his turns back, to get his Overdrive back, we're kind of up shit creek. But that's the only situation we've got that, you know, kind of that backup strategy falls through. So we've got First Strike and Initiative, and we've got Kimahri in the front line with Victor. So in the next two steps, if we do end up getting a battle here, chances are we'll be okay, because Riku can handle things. There we go. Right, we're safe. So what we'll do is we'll put Riku into Slayer. And this is just how we get Kimahri's Overdrive back. I would go to Macalania Woods, but there's a chance of us encountering another Chimera and a Xiphos on their own as well, which we do not need. So anything else, we would be in a position where we could get the Kimahri's Overdrive back. So let me just double check. We've got Kimahri in Victor, and we've got Riku in Slayer, so that's fine. Riku's only got SOS because we're going to be bringing her in, and Kimahri hasn't, so that's fine. Have we got Tidus in First Strike, Yuna in Initiative? That's perfect. Oh, we get a preemptive. Yeah, I'm not going to mess about capturing and stuff right now. I'm just going to get Kimahri's Overdrive back. So that's fine. Because we've just used up an hour's worth of time. So we'll get ourselves out of there. Do I need actually to buy any maps? That's a thought. No, I'm good with maps for now. So we can bring Kimahri back. And we can sort out our overdrive modes. So he's back to Slayer. And let's just get him back using the SOS Overdrive. Great to see a few of you in the chat tonight. Hope everyone's doing well. And Riku's back in Daredevil. That's perfect. Right. This is going to take a while, right? And I'm really hoping we can get it done in this stream. Is to get that Chimera plus preemptive strike encounter. Capture, death, lightning proof, health, SOS, wards, SOS haste, protect. Now, the only way that the Chimera Brains win versus us is if they win the Darkness Lottery. Or we can get an Albed Potion in and use a Chaos Grenade before they get a turn. How do I deal with Bikanel? How do you mean, top secret? Do you mean in terms of capturing, or in terms of just the general playthrough so far? Ideally, I think what we probably need is Kimahri to have SOS haste. So maybe we'll yeah, maybe we'll try and grab him one shortly. But now we're not riding on Chucky anymore. Chucky has been retired, and we're going to meet our new best boy, Boko, the stallion who mounts the world. So the strategy to get through Bikanel was very elaborate, and it required us getting multiple initiative weapons from the Cactars in the Thunder Plains. It also required us to get multiple SOS overdrives. But actually, on reflection, it feels like if we would, because to get through Evrail Tana, I had to hack in an SOS haste armor for Riku, which we would have got from the Wendigo before Bikanel. I think we've actually lost out on steals in Bikanel, because Riku in haste and in SOS overdrive means we can get through any battle in Bikanel, especially as well when we get the teleport spheres. And there's a chance we get stuff like we get steals like shadow gems and smoke bombs and stuff. Yeah, the zoo last time fucked me up basically, and that's why we had to come up with some real elaborate strategy. What I do want to do is just double check which monsters I have got. So yeah, it was a very thought out and planned but there's still an element of RNG involved. So that's the Chimera Brain, that's the Skull, that must be the Ogre. So the Ogre's fine. The Skull is a bit of a pain, but I think we'll be able to get there. So let me just check the setup. SOS, SOS, that's fine. So yeah, eventually we got there with Bikanel and we got through. But actually, on reflection, if we would have grinded an SOS haste armor off of the Wendigo in the first place, Bikanel would have been... we would have done Bikanel even easier. It would have been even easier to get through, and we would have had a few steals, I believe. So... and the reason being is because we can guarantee Riku gets into SOS during the first forced encounter versus the 2 mech scouters. There was a way to manipulate Riku's HP and to also defeat those enemies. Right, so we're back looking for... not these. But lucky for us, we've got a free auto win button with Kimari and Stone Breath when we come up with this sort of encounter. What I am hoping for is that we don't have too many non-Chimera Brain encounters. Ugh. Right, let's see if we can escape here. Fucking hell. I absolutely detest the fact that I can't escape. Absolutely detest. In fact, so much so, I'm actually going to swap in Riku and attempt to escape. And I did that because if Waka failed to escape there, it would have been GG. What I'll eventually do, top secret, is exactly that, is when we've kind of figured out all the strategies, I'm considering doing it before we fight BFA and try and get all the way there and maybe putting a save point in before BFA. So go through the entire challenge, no save states. And if we do end up encountering some shitty RNG, we've got to go back to maybe, I think the initial save state at the top of Mihen High Road. I think that's where we'll go back to. Oh, fucking hell, Yuna, for fuck's sake. These people love to dice with death. They do. They love playing the hero. And I hate it. I wish Flea came as standard. I think we've got the Malboro RNG here, which is not what I'm after. Ooh, but this is what I'm after. So, right, in this encounter, unless I get a really, really low roll with Blaster Mine. Oh no, actually, I'm going to actually capture the ogre here. So I'm going to use a hazardous shell. And that did what? 2,350. So 9,4 divided by 4. Yeah, it's 2,350. So what that means is 4,915 minus 2,350 is 2,565 minus 2,350 is 215. So yeah, we can just chill with Riku, and what I will do is I will bring in Kimari, and I will bring in Auron as well, because we can use a Lancet, and Lancet won't take us out of SOS, and we can take it out with Auron as well then. So we're just going to chill for a turn or two. because we got favourable damage range and the poison will not kill the ogre. Although, what I need to do, actually, I've just realised I need to get Riku's Overdrive back. So let's just swap weapons. We should have done this in the first place. Right, Auron gets a turn there, which is absolutely perfect. And Riku ends this battle with, I believe, a full overdrive, which is wonderful. And if anything happens, we've got a turn with Riku at the end. So, let's just double check its health with the nurse. 215. So I'm on the fence as to whether or not that's going to actually kill it. So we'll bring Kimahri back in and use a Lancet. The reason I'm using a Lancet is, number one, it's a guaranteed kind of 75 damage. Number two, if Kimahri attacks it, we might get a crit. And Kimahri does not have a capture weapon equipped because Auron has the capture weapon equipped. So we can guarantee that we get some damage in. We keep Auron, Kimahri in SOS. 131, Auron should be able to take this out. And if he can't, then he's a pussy and he's weak as fuck. But if he can't, Riku can mop up his crap as well. So let's see if he's got the Beastmaster equipped. He has. This should be Ogre captured. Buzz in. That did 285. So we didn't need the Lancet as well, which is good. And we don't need that shitty katana either. So let's get the team set back up. Everyone playing their part here, including Lulu, when it comes to manipulating HP with her spells. I do need to keep considering... Yeah, finally got that encounter. That's quite a rare encounter for me, you know, LG. So yeah, top secret. Eventually, at some point, I am going to attempt to do a full-scale... a full-scale run-through of this challenge, like a proper Nuzlocke. Right, you get out of there, mate. We'll have to bring in my girl. And use a Mighty G. So, double power Disfiller. Whacker survives every time. Get him out. And then Riku, we just swap until we get an overdrive. And this is why the Daredevil mode is perfect. We will not be capturing another one of these. And if I'm honest, providing I've got enough items to capture... In fact, I don't even think it's necessary for us to capture 5 of everything. Because I very much doubt there is a strategy we can use to capture things like the Barbatos, or to capture something like the Great Malboro. Like, Great Mal is just a different kettle of fish. Right, let's heal the captain. Chimera and the Skull Wolves, yes, correct. That's to go. And then we've finished capturing here. Then the Monster Arena is open. But what we actually have forgotten, what we have access to, and which is the Far Plane Winds. Now, do we give Whacker Death Touch, or do we give him Death Strike? Death Strike means we basically guarantee we can capture everything from Besaid to, I would probably say, maybe even Mount Gagazet. Including, and I'm talking including Bikanel, stuff like that. I can't remember if the zoo is immune to death. It might not be. Right. So, yeah, just the wolves and the chimeras. But remember, we need chimeras with unfavourable agility. Or we need them to have... We need a preemptive strike. So this encounter is a piece of cake. 5/8 divided by 4. Right, let me just double check how much. Oh yeah, so we got 2 turns here. Perfect. Right. So we can just defend. We don't need to capture these. Just get Riku back. They're not going to die. So Riku's got more than ample turns to get her overdrive back. Now we can just defend. And defend and defend. Bye-bye, Anacondas. Bye-bye. Like, one of the GOAT mixes right now is Hazardous Shell. It is carrying hard, especially in the Calmlands. Just checking everyone's got the equipment that they need. Oh, this again. Okay. It's the only problem now. We're searching for an encounter that might take the piss to come. So, I think, though, if I'm honest, we should have had a Chimera encounter by now. So I might nip on Bocco and get out of here and go and reset the RNG. And yes, LG, Bocco is in the lead on my community poll for us to name our best boy Bocco. But what I might add on is the Bocco, who is the stallion who mounts the world, because that's in second place. And Chucky hasn't even got one single vote, which has absolutely crushed my soul. Softage, Gordon. Oh, that is a busted drop. Right, let's get rid of some of this crap. Stone Touch as well for Auron. That is busted as well. Yeah, we'll take a bit of that. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to give it 3 more encounters. Oh, see, we haven't got the kind of... We haven't got the... I'm going to say the RNG, but I think you know what I mean. Like, this roll of the dice is not producing Chimera Brains. So I think I need to just get out and get back in. Because I need to be able to at least fight a few before we finish. The legend of the legendary stallion who mounts the world, Bocco, brother of Chucky. Yeah, love it. Okay, so we won't forget the... What have I done here? I fucked up here somewhat. For some reason. No, I haven't. Yeah, the legendary legend, the stallion who mounts the world, Bocco, brother of Chucky, guiding us to safety and victory on the lands of Calm. That will be his official title. Yeah, our best boy. Right, so that was 1. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I'm definitely getting back on Bocco in a minute. Just to, yeah, just to reset the encounters here. Because usually I should, you know, the majority of the time I'm spending in this top left corner, I've been finding a lot of chimeras. So it's just our luck that we're not getting them. Now I don't mind fighting these because it's a relatively easy encounter. And I suppose I'd rather fight these actually than the Coels and the double flaming mech. Because that encounter is risky. So let me have one more encounter, as I said. Ooh, now. The trouble is, I think actually, in order to get the skull, I think we need a preemptive here as well. Let me just think, because there's no way of putting the skull to sleep. With Blastermine, it does too much damage, I think. So let me just double check. Riku. Blastermine does a minimum of 1031 damage according to P. Birdman. So what I think we just do is we just bring in Kimari. No sleep powders, LG. As I said though, if we would have gone through Bikanel with SOS Haste on Riku, I strongly feel that we would have come out of it with at least some smoke bombs or some sleeping powders. Oh, nice counterattack. If anything, it'll sell for something, so let's get rid of something shit. Trouble is, you never know in this game what's bad and what's good. So something's got to be shit though, like one of these lightning wards. So I'm going to go and reset the RNG. I'm going to be on till about 8 o'clock tonight, folks, my time. And it's 7:43 at the moment, so we've got about 15-20 minutes. So I'm keen to get in one of these battles. But Bocco blitzing us through the... Oh, we can just come in here, to be fair. Yeah, no smoke bombs either. What we do have, though, from our opening battle in the Calmlands is one Dream Powder knocking about. Chances are, though, that's going to do over 1,000 damage, even though I think it does between... Yeah, the P. Birdman's guide suggesting it does between 937 and 1058. So to avoid wasting it, I'm just going to keep it. But that could, you know, if we would have gone through and got ourselves... Oh, what's her name? Yeah, if we would have gone through Bikanel with SOS Haste, I strongly think we would have ended up with some smoke bombs or sleeping powders. Because we could have gone in with Riku, stolen, and then used an Overdrive, or gone in with Riku, stolen, come back out and used Kimari's Stone Breath. Similar to what we do here, so... Yeah, but I'll take that on the chin, right, and... Ah, fuck. This is not good. Right, I've got to bring in Auron and defend here. No, I've got to bring in Auron and try and escape. I fucking hate this camera angle. It's really weird. Ah, that's not a bad shout, actually, yeah. If it gets to it, we can, yeah, we can use the Dream Powder. Because we've legitimately got that from our efforts in in the Calmlands. So yeah, I agree. I think if we don't get that tonight, or if we don't get the skull, or the skull preemptive, or the Chimera Brain preemptive, then yeah, we'll test out the dream powder, and we'll just hack it back in if it doesn't work. Because you're right, it's basically a toss of a coin. Am I going the wrong way? So according to, this is the top northwest, which is where all the big game are. And is where we should be finding a Chimera Brain, apparently. No, we've got Anacondas again. Which means Riku's going to come in. Was this a preemptive again? Bloody hell. Seems to be getting a lot of preemptives. I nearly pressed escape there. Yeah, if we can get a skull encounter with the ogre and have it as a preemptive, that guarantees us that fight. Because there's you know, I can use like lightning marbles and stuff like that to get rid of the one. I can use Auron to get rid of Shooting Star, to get rid of the ogre with Shooting Star. Then I need to use Riku, and I need to use Riku with Riku's Overdrive and use a Mighty G to be able to tank, I think, the physical attack. Because I don't think Waka... I think Waka's pretty much the only one that will be able to capture it. Unless I just try and use Auron. No, just defend. Defend, defend. And bye-bye. Bye-bye, Anacondas. Yeah, it's a good point though, LG. I think we will kind of try and test out that that Dream Powder strat. It might be. It might be necessary. Although on the previous stream, before we fucked up versus the Chimera Brain, we successfully caught the skull without using the Dream Powder. Racking up a nice bit of gil as well, because we haven't actually gone to once yet. In this attempt, we haven't ventured up Mount Gagazet, although we've got the steel from there. Oh, the fucking hate this encounter. Pisses me off. Because these two have not got favourable hero man. What this means is... See, if Auron gets hit and is confused... Right, I'll do this. Oh, you twat. I didn't think he could kill him. You fucking idiot. Ugh! Oh, how annoying. God damn it. I thought he could survive. Even with, yeah, even with defend. Okay. What we'll do is we will continue as a bit of a test. Let's bring the big man back and we'll continue as a bit of a test for the next 10 minutes to see if we can get Auron. To see if we can get, what's her name, if we can get, yeah, should have just played it safe, LG, you're right. So we're going to do a bit of a testing, just to make sure that the skull and or the Chimera Brain can be caught. Fuck's sake, man. Hour down the bin. Oh well, we'll get there. So yeah, I do want to test it out while we're on. Auton just literally hates escaping. Literally, he cannot escape to save his life. He loves sticking around. I should have just used what's her name with Riku there, a Mighty G. Oh, fucking hate this encounter as well. It's pissing me off. The level of escaping has got to be 50%. It must be. It mustn't be. It must not be 80% at all. That is gobbledygook. That is cobblers. Absolute nonsense. It's got to be 50%. It's not 80% at all. Whacker, 3 people out of 4 attempts. That's a 25% success rate at escaping. It must have something to do though with maybe the agility stats. It must have something to do with that. God damn it. So yeah, we'll do some testing if we can get the right nah, it's just not going to happen for us. These bloody battles. Well, it's free Gil, I suppose. Well, I suppose we're going to need to do attempt 25 on the next stream. Yeah, the amount of non-escaping has just been a bit of a joke. And it's fucked us up so many times. And you can't prepare for it. Like, the moment they don't escape, it puts you in such a bad position, it's untrue. And it's one of the only things that I cannot prepare for or control. Right, as a bit of a test, let's just find out. Oh, look at that. Fucking hell, that is just ridiculous. That's a bit of a joke as well, man. Oh my god. So if we would have used the dream powder, maybe we do use the dream powder, to be fair. Yeah, maybe we just try it. Whack her again. Escaping is not 80% at all. I reckon it's 50%. I suppose now we know it's a viable option for us to get the skull. So the only other thing is now, before we finish, is trying to get a Chimera, testing the Chimera battle if we get a preemptive. It's going to be very lucky if we do. Because we keep getting these fucking anacondas. Oh, it's annoyed me, that Auton thing. All of my own doing. That's just me being lazy, I think. Yeah, I think Malboro off stream. I think, an hour fight is just a bit much. So, what I'll do is, what we'll do is, we won't capture the Malboro in the next stream. We'll capture everything else. We know the Malboro is a guarantee. And depending on where we are in the stream, we'll either hack it in or we'll do it. How about that? We'll leave the Malboro to last. it doesn't matter because you're dead, apparently, according to our challenge rules. So, yeah, we'll do 3 more encounters, and then we'll call it a night. I mean, it's just a bit ridiculous. Might be worth changing, moving positions, moving just for 2 or 3 more encounters, just to see if the Chaos Grenade Mighty Guard strategy works. Which I believe it does, because we tested it out actually on the previous stream, and it worked wonders. Okay, don't even have to switch back. Right, let's go on Bocco, and we'll move to around here. So we'll have 2 encounters, or we'll go to 8 o'clock. Okay, 3 encounters, because this is a bit of an auto battle. Like, imagine how annoying it would be, though, if we couldn't petrify the mech. Oh. Right, just for the fucking sake of it.
No mercy.
Just because this attempt is over. Get the fuck out of there. Excuse my language. It's just not been... It has been a semi-successful stream, I suppose. What I might do is... Come on, at least just give me 1 Chimera preemptive. Oh, for God's sake. The RNG has not been on our side. Not good. Yeah, I think some little silly errors have cost us today, and bad RNG. Again, it's what's plagued this fucking challenge from day one, I think. RNG with the waterproof. RNG on Mihen Highroad. RNG when it comes to preemptives versus the Chimera Brain. RNG when it comes to fucking finding a Chimera Brain. I mean, look, I'll take the quadruple battle any day, or this battle any day. So the last battle will be the last battle of the night, folks. Apologies. And apologies, this has been a bit of a wasted stream, but it is what it is. It had potential. They are certainly not with me. It's because we haven't prayed to Lord Harris. That's why. God, this battle just now is... You've got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. We'll finish this and then we'll call it a night, because the gods are not with us tonight. Next stream should be this week though, folks. As I mentioned, the apprenticeship work is done, and I am now on full-scale Jit Geek mode. So, plenty of content to come. Just got to get my back end into gear with editing and with script writing on a couple of challenges. One is a fucking ginormous challenge. Talking like, I think the last time I checked, it was 88 gigabytes of recording that I'd done. So we'll do one more battle for the road just to see, and then if not, we will call it a night. Apologies if anyone's joining in the chat. Preemptive. This is an interesting set of events here. I will try it. Why not? So, ideally what we want is just to test things out. Just to test things out, we'll do this. See, the fact that Riku gets a second turn is just so weird. I suppose we know. At least we know. Now, we'll bring in Kimahri. Kimahri now can do Mighty Guard. Was that a preemptive as well? So, theoretically, what we could do here is... let's just test this. So, Aqua Breath, unless they do the same attack, I suppose. That's how we get fucked, like this. Yeah, that's how we get fucked as well. Yeah, and I think what that actually does mean is, here's my point. This is why we need the preemptive, because we need all three in, and we need Auron to use Shooting Star on one of them. And the reason that is, actually, I've just realised, is if they use double Aqua Breath, or if they use the same elemental attack on the same character. Now, they do get blinded. I just don't think you can see the darkness. You can't see the darkness. So poison, all of the breaks, silence, darkness, and slow. So yeah, this is where Auron comes in to get rid of one. And then we basically, unless Kimahri... No, because even Kimahri can tank the physical, I think, with full health. So yeah, let's call this a night. So we've got the Chimera Brain strategy nailed, but we must get a preemptive. Right, folks, been a great stream. Sorry about the progress. We're on to attempt number 25 on the next stream, and that will likely be Thursday evening. So Thursday evening, same time, probably 6 o'clock again. I'll try and get on a bit earlier, and then we can hopefully finish capturing on Thursday. If you join us in the chat tonight, great to have you with us as always. Smash the like button, share the video out there if you can, and if you're not part of the Jit Geek community, I would appreciate your love and support by subscribing to the channel. Great to have some familiar faces in the chat tonight. LG, as always, brother, take it easy. Top Secret, Lord Harris, great to have you with us tonight, pal. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream, and everyone else who's been following along in the chat and on the live stream. If you're watching back on the VOD, great to have you with us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and drop a subscribe if you're not part of the community. I'll catch you all on Thursday. Great to see you. Have a nice evening all. LG, catch you on the next one, and take it easy, brother. Top Secret, great to see you as always, brother, as well. And yeah, I think we're in a good place with the capturing now, LG. We know how to navigate through all of the different scenarios with the enemies, so it's just about rinse and repeat now, I think, and getting shit done on the next attempt. Catch you soon. Bye for now.